Yeah, it's like, oh, like if your funnel doesn't work, it's called funnel drift. It's like, no, that means it doesn't convert very well. The way that when I initially outlined this article, funnel drift is when you have a funnel that's working. The conversion rate, though, falls off over time. And one of the most common causes for it, and I've seen this multiple times in our journey so far, the issue can be that you may have another member of your team or partner, co-founder, whoever, who comes in and may not be as experienced or hands-on knowledgeable in terms of like what is going to resonate with your audience. What are they going to see as valuable in terms of content, in terms of copy? What is going to connect with them? How do they like to be, conversed with or educated or whatever it is, type of content or copy you're putting out? So funnel drift is when someone or something just kind of breaks down what was working, and so it becomes less effective. Maybe the copy falls out of alignment, which is a reference, you could say, to our 11 laws of sales funnel physics, specifically the law of alignment. It's almost like fitting a puzzle piece into a puzzle. It's a specific shape, it fits right in place, or a key into a lock. It has to be a specific shape, it fits in, and you can turn and unlock it. This can also happen just through lack of maintenance. For example, someone changes something where you were linking to a blog article or linking to a landing page and something was changed on your website and that link is just broken. Or you have a plugin and the plugin on your website, whatever, doesn't work anymore. And maybe it doesn't even happen completely. Maybe the website or the landing page or whatever still kind of functions, but maybe something looks a bit off. This again is funnel drift, which can be immediate or more incremental in terms of drop off of conversion rate. Now, by contrast, I think it's interesting how Neil Patel, for instance, he says funnel drift is a common problem. It happens when campaigns run for a long time without optimization. So again, sort of a reference to the need for maintenance and ongoing testing. Ryan Dice says funnel drift happens when the message, audience, or product changes, but the same marketing tactics are applied. So this is a little bit different from my initial definition, but I think it's actually very valid. This is where the market, for example, would move or change in some way in terms of their preferences, their needs, their priorities. Maybe price is more or less important. Maybe certain features are more or less important. Instead of, adjusting your funnel to recalibrate and kind of aim and track that, for greater alignment, to again aspire to achieve that key in the lock scenario. Instead, the funnel might just languish and not be updated, or may even be updated in the wrong direction.
Matt, how would you describe how funnel drift has affected AutoGrow to start?
This has actually happened multiple times. A lot of entrepreneurs, you don't really realize it's happening when it's happening. So that's really the first thing to become aware of and to be vigilant about, because you set something up. The promise of a sales funnel, or so we've been told, it's like a robot. It's like a automated salesperson. You get the copy right, you get the landing page and the emails and the ads right, boom, it's gonna print money, print leads, whatever. But that's not the reality. The reality is that, especially now more than ever, the market and the environment in which that funnel exists is dynamic. And it needs to be in order to effectively compete, because once something is out there with all the different competitors in the marketplace and bots and people tracking and learning constantly, someone's probably going to find it and copy it. And that by itself, the popularity of a specific maybe tactic or setup for a funnel can actually lead to less effectiveness in your funnel, and hence that is another version of market drift. For us, most recently, it's been content. So I kind of took my finger off the pulse of how that was going. I was collaborating on articles, but I think really not putting in what I needed to put in terms of messaging and connecting with our audience. And so for us, that became a bottleneck. In the past, though, more severe, immediate forms of funnel drift would happen where for a day or so, we'd be updating something in the code in our app, and checkouts would not happen as they were supposed to. Like instead of charging for $7, we'd charge the full price. And then we would find that sort of an issue pretty quickly and then go into fix it.
Right. How about, what are some actionable ways we can use to prevent funnel drift from happening?
First step for preventing it is to have proper tracking in place to make sure that you can detect it quickly when it happens. I think that it is inevitable to happen because your marketing campaigns exist in a dynamic environment. The economy is always changing, the market is always changing, competitors are entering and leaving, clients clients, customers are always entering and leaving the market. For us, one thing that prevented us from detecting it sooner when it did happen was, so for example, in terms of some of our marketing campaigns, our ads manager, I had her looking at the wrong data, which led to conclusions like, oh, the ads are working, but what do we define as working? You know, are people opting in, or are they getting to a certain page? You know, we also had this issue of funnel drift being caused by spam. So we ultimately signed up for a special tool to help fight spam, because funnel drift came in the form of just fake data, like bots just opting in for whatever reason to our forms, to our funnel, and we were like, oh well, it's working. You know, we have people opting in. The Facebook pixel is firing. Like, why aren't these people converting? And we look at the email addresses, we look at the engagement levels in terms of clicks and open rates, and there'd be none. So we had to realize that, and just, I think, looking at data across the funnel to constantly identify like what is that bottleneck. And when something shifts, especially if it happens quickly, that should send up a red flag of, okay, why did this shift? Did we do something different, or did something in terms of the ad targeting or the market also shift? You want to be aware of the key performance metrics or KPIs, key performance indicators that you are choosing to focus on. Are these the right metrics? Are they real indicators of growth, or are we missing something?
Making sure, I guess, everybody's on the same page as far as what's the main goal of the funnel, and making sure everybody is aware of that and all working towards that same goal.
Right. If the goal is sales, everyone needs to be aligned towards that goal. It's not just about opt-ins. Opt-ins can be great. They can be a leading indicator of growth in sales. But if you are just focusing on opt-ins and not focusing on, okay, are they engaging? Are they opening the emails? Are they clicking? And furthermore, too, something that helped us to understand the issue, for example, in the most recent case that it was content, was we would see a big drop off in our email funnel where, you know, people might be interested in one email and then a quarter would be opening or clicking or whatever it was in the follow-up email. And that's just an indicator of a bottleneck. And that bottleneck is also the opportunity to improve.
As far as under the how to detect funnel drift before it hurts your sales conversions, would you say these are pretty fundamental to the process to make sure everything is running smoothly?
You know, I think fundamentally keeping track of what are you changing and when within your funnel, because the tricky thing about funnel drift is that you can change something. For example, in the past, a writer rewrote an email sequence and it just wasn't aligned, and I didn't take a thorough look at it either, and I just kind of said, okay, let's launch it. But the result was that it would go incrementally down. I think a mistake that a lot of founders, marketers might be making is when they see a problem is to not properly diagnose it as funnel drift, and they think instead that the solution is, well, we need a big redesign. Redesigns can be a real pain in the ass, like huge problem, huge headache, especially if your funnel is large, complicated. There's a lot of pages, a lot of branding elements that are going to have to go into it. That's actually fraught with more risk, and you might be moving even further away and intentionally causing funnel drift without even knowing it, or unintentionally causing it. So
it's better to take what you have and just finagle it, make sure everything's running properly.
Yeah, the solution probably isn't huge, massive change to the overall structure. You have to properly diagnose it as funnel drift. And then you want to get back to where you were and better, usually just by making small tweaks to the copy, for example. Because a lot of this stuff, it takes judgment, and the data doesn't speak for you. The data just shows you numbers. You have to piece together the story that the data is trying to tell. And that is your hypothesis. And that's really the best you can do as an entrepreneur or as a marketer, is take a shot, take a guess. And if you're wrong, well, you can always backtrack and come up with a different hypothesis.
Yeah.
This is the whole concept of marketing, is that you have influence over those numbers, and you can find wherever that alignment is. Because I think some people might despair, if they see, it's all screwed. Like the economy is bad and that's why. And you can make up a story in your own head, but it doesn't mean you have to think of like, well, yeah, there are things I can't control that might have a macro, second order impact on my business. But I want to know, how much is the economy like actually impacting us? And I looked at this one survey, for example, from Neil Patel, surveyed 8,000 marketers. Their budgets are going up across the board. Only Facebook is like going down, for example. So it's like, okay, it's us, it's our funnel. So
yeah, it's true.
For anyone who wants to, help your brand, your business avoid funnel drift and instead move constantly in the direction of funnel alignment, check out autogrow.co. With Autogrow, you can delegate all of your digital marketing tasks and projects without the typical headaches of hiring. And it is just $7 to sign up and try for your first week. So sign up for $7 and you get access to a full and amazing, talented team of professionals with a wide range of skill sets. So you can delegate basically anything that you can imagine in terms of marketing, copywriting, content, landing pages, development, video, ads, and more. So go to autogrow.co to check us out and sign up for $7 today. Thank you very much.